Hey guys, this is Js5001 here again, and it's been a while. It felt like it's been a while since I made a video, because I've recently just been working on the claymation. Oh no, not claymation. Sorry. Sometimes I get music videos and claymations mixed up together in one. I don't know how I do it, but yeah, I've been working on a music video for the whole weekend. Like, if it took a lot longer than I did most music videos because I put a lot of effort into making this one. So I'm hoping it's gonna turn out good. I tried to make it as best as I could. You know, I always try, like the last music video, Microwave and Chicken Pot Pie, and my older ones. So I'm making I Am Afraid of My Dog, and I just recently finished it today. And so anyway, I just got a request, like, on Friday, saying that I should do a reaction video to top 36 terrifying rooms in games from Tat's Top Videos. He's actually one of my favorite creepy YouTubers. So, and this one is just recently uploaded on February 4th. So, yeah. So here we go.
This video contains disturbing content, violent content, jump scares, and sudden loud noises. Viewer discretion advised.
Through generations of play, gamers have been conditioned with the notion that there is no such thing as an empty room. But there have been instances where this is true.
Sometimes its purpose is to keep players on their toes, making them paranoid, confused to the point of freaking out.
I know that game.
Players who run into enough empty rooms may overlook or ignore another, believing there's nothing inside, when in fact, a reward lies within.
Other times, it's entirely unintentional, and yet manages to make an impression on our psyches. So, join us as we venture through the top 36 most terrifying rooms in games.
This is gonna be a long one.
Rumpus Room. Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon. The Rumpus Room in
How is
Haunted
this supposed
Towers
to be
is a creepy
scary?
room. There's a dollhouse that mind screws you when you look into its window. You see the exact same room you're standing in, with Luigi looking through the same window. Then there's the doll in the center of the room, whose head rotates 360 degrees, following you. To get a gem from it, you have to run around so its head unscrews, landing on the floor with a thud, and disappearing. Then there are jack-in-the-boxes that have evil, distorted laughs that pop up loud and unexpected.
I don't understand how that was scary.
The Child's Room. Time Splitter's Future Perfect. There's a child's room in the attic of the Mansion of Madness. There's really nothing to be found in here, other than the rocking horse moving back and forth. On the floor are alphabet blocks, so the word hag. There is blood on the wall, and on the chalkboard is the phrase red rum, or murder spelled backwards. This is a reference to the novel The Shining by Stephen King and its film adaptation by Stanley Kubrick. Mysterious banging and voices can be heard now and then, and each wardrobe holds nothing. The child's room, along with most of the other rooms in the vicinity, are mainly placed here just for the movie references.
One of my favorite movies.
Ratman's Den. Portal 2. Ratman's dens are secret rooms hidden throughout Portal 2. Adorned in these rooms are messages and artwork, and is merely used as a refuge in order to escape GLaDOS' scrutiny. They usually feature weird drawings on the wall, cans of open food, and radios on the ground. Wall scrollings and various dioramas depicting either what he witnessed or simply what he feels like expressing. By standing close to the murals in certain dens, a frantic voice can be heard crying out in barely audible gibberish. Ratman's voice is incomprehensible due to his schizophrenia, meaning only he can understand his mumblings, though attempts have still been made by the community to translate them. This voice has been guessed to be that of Ratman himself, giving a hint that he may actually still be alive and wandering around the facility. This voice can also be heard in the song Ghost of Ratman on the Portal 2 Songs to Test By soundtrack.
Conference Room, Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil. The conference room is found in Phobos Labs. It's located to the left of the building and is a small, dimly lit area with flashing lights. What's creepy about this room is that a low gurgling sound plays, almost as if some demonic entity is present. You don't hear the sound anywhere else in the game, and there is nothing out of the ordinary either. There are no corpses, no skeletons, no growth, and no enemies that spawn here. It's been noted that the voices could be a reference to the employees who worked in here before the invasion, as noted by the PDA message that is found in one of the offices. Or the voices are angry because of the recent thieving of chairs and other accessories found in the area.
The bathroom.
Oh no,
Slender.
not this one.
Never enter the bathroom in Slender. A mantra that has been repeated throughout the gaming community, and for good reason. The tiled halls are very narrow, and the roof not particularly tall. The entire experience builds your paranoia, believing there could be anything waiting around that corner. As it happens, there often is. One puzzling aspect of this room is why there's even a bathroom or shower house there. There are no pipes, water nozzles, or even a pool or lake nearby. The obvious answer was to add variety to the mainly outdoor environment this game features, to build menace and suspense inside tightly packed corridors.
Baby's Room, Max Payne. The baby's room is found in Max Payne's nightmares. Usually they revolve around the murder of his family at the Payne residence. If the player walks near the cot, a cutscene will play and show a dead baby. If the player looks at the alphabet cues, they will rise in the air and spell the word death. The whole area is tinged red, and a creepy music box plays throughout the level, both with Michelle and the baby crying and screaming in the background.
Juvenile Curriculum, Ghostbusters. Juvenile Curriculum is a quiet area within the library, but the whispers of disembodied children fill the air and eerie handprints cover the wall. As the Ghostbusters venture deeper, they discover a mysterious plush dog with paranormal attributes. Upon its disturbance, a door slams. It is never fully explained as to the cause of the children's voices, as their mumblings do not speak of any murders, disasters, or horrible experiences of any kind. Perhaps it's merely the psychological imprint of generations of young, sensitive minds that is built into some kind of supernatural phenomena, or something far more sinister. While the room itself holds a secret achievement, the actual pure creepiness factor is excellent, and definitely puts you on edge.
That was freaking creepy.
Gentleman's Restroom, BioShock. One of the most unsettling parts of Fort Frolic was the gents' toilet in the southern mall. Video game restrooms are often scary, but the three Cohen sculptures forever frozen in unnatural, balletic poses with black plastic bags over their heads bring a unique, terror-inducing trepidation. Their twisted shadows cast against the backdrop, flickering in and out of existence with the lights. It is never made clear whether these sculptures are indeed people still alive beneath the plaster skin, or simply statues, but this uncertainty keeps you from looking away just in case. The room's music lends no assurance, and it isn't heard anywhere else in the game. It's also worth noting that nothing of value is in this room. It's mainly for show. No enemies, no special inventory, nothing.
The Mannequin Room. Resident Evil 6. The Mannequin Room of Resident Evil 6 is located soon after the first battle with Ustinak. Tall, disfigured mannequins occupy this darkened area, some with incoherent markings on their bodies. What is creepily puzzling about this particular place is why they are housed there. This area doesn't resemble a shop, and all the eyes of the mannequins seem to have been colored black, almost as if someone was already down there. Towards the end of the room, before the ladder, stuck to the wall, is the top half of a mannequin with a bag over its head. A mysterious artwork of two eyes and a mouth is displayed on the wall nearby. What's more, both main characters don't say anything about this disturbing sight or anything they witness. It is thought that the drawings could have been the work of a chavo, showing the true extent of its crazed demeanor. Malcolm Betruger's office, Doom 30. In the level administration, you will happen upon a room playing ominous music. The interior is lit with candles. A pentagram rests on the floor, and strange, fleshy, tentacle-like growth, oozing with blood, has spread through the walls and ceiling.
What is
This
that?
demonic growth is first seen in the administration complex, to which you are
Shit.
alerted to by Sergeant Kelly. Its presence within the station is initially subtle, but becomes more and more apparent as the game progresses. The only known item in this room is a PDA from one of the dead scientists. However, be cautious. Once obtained, the pentagram can spawn imps that seek your demise. The Doll Room, Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls.
Right after the second bonfire, on your left is a room full of creepy dolls. This room serves no purpose other than giving you a window into the next room. This room is also used by Ornifex, a weaponsmith. Many people have believed that there is a connection between Ornifex and Dark Souls 1. In this room, the dolls all along the wall are similar to the item used to access the painted world in Dark Souls 1, where the crow people live. The creepy part about this room is, if you go into the next room and look back through the window, all the dolls seem mysteriously gone, as well as the candle, but the light is still burning. Whether this was a glitch or intentional, it's still a creepy and mysterious sighting.
Ghost Room, Call of Duty Finest Hour. As covered in our top 45 scariest Easter eggs in games, this room is located in a level underground passage through a destructible door. Upon entering, you'll notice many pictures of babies along the walls, and in the center stands a cradle with a ghost child nestled within. Hitting the action button causes them to float and walk in midair. It's also worth noting that as well as the eerie music, candles appear to be floating, a toilet is located to the left of the room, miniature tanks and planes fly around on their own accord, and a giant rat lurks near the stairs. One of the NPCs even states it's one of the most disturbing things he has ever seen. Mila's Secret Room, Psychonauts. The secret room in Mila's mind is located on a balcony and behind a door. Hitting the chest will allow you to enter. The backstory is that Mila used to run her own orphanage before becoming a psychonaut and took care of the children there. One night she comes to the place to find it engulfed in flames with all the children trapped inside. And being a psychic, she was forced to hear them as they all burned to death. The insides of the chest in question take you to a burning landscape with odd nightmarish creatures looming over you, caged off from you, screaming in agony and asking why Mila couldn't save them.
Why does this look so much like a kid's game?
Royal Family's Tomb. Zelda Ocarina of Time, 64.
Zelda.
The Royal Family's Tomb is a room with statue-like zombies called Redeads along with poisoned water.
Oh, there's a
They can be
creepypasta
extremely
of Zelda,
dangerous if you don't know how
so
to deal with them, so
we say
attack
make
them if
another
you're feeling
one.
confident. But don't be ashamed just to sneak past them and make a break for the other side of the chamber if they freak you out. Redeads themselves are terrifying creatures that scream at you and freeze you in place before attacking. Many first-time players assume the creatures to be humans, seeing as most of the NPCs you encounter are older adults. So they will run up to one, only for the Redead to scream loudly and walk slowly towards them and jump onto their back and eat them. At this precise point, it is very likely you could die by them, and many younger players have said they stopped playing when they reach this area because of the sudden dark change in atmosphere and setting. Up to that point, the game never gives us an indication that it would incorporate aspects from a horror genre. Nevertheless, at the far end of the room lies the tomb where players could play the Sun Song and freeze the Redeads for a short while, allowing them to safely run past. With the Zelda series, you expect to conquer dungeons, defeat bosses, and collect items. You don't expect to feel fear. When this happens, the effect is multiplied. Nintendo created this room to push the norm.
Cell Block Room, Silent Hill 2. While you're in the cell blocks in the prison, you hear something very large walking around, breathing very heavily, and whispering something that sounds very demonic. You never get to see exactly what it is, but there are, in fact, two monsters located in the cells in which they seem to chant ritual. Although the radio does not emit static in their presence, the Book of Lost Memory notes them as monsters. You can clearly hear these monsters chanting ritual, which signifies that this is how they came to be, and maybe it was never completely finished, which would explain why they were invisible and not fully manifested. The way everything is scattered about the cell shows that maybe there was an interruption in the ritual. Maybe the member of the Order was caught at this moment and then executed in the gallows. The scream you hear at this point after placing the tablets could be the scream of that man who was killed, a residual haunting. Another theory is that they could be referring to the rebirth ending. When ritual is reversed, it sounds like, "Are you sure?"
School classroom. Gray. The school classroom is a brightly lit classroom with mysterious, childish laughter. As the player progresses around the room, the lights will flicker and the furniture will have vanished. In the center of the room is a piece of paper. If the player grabs the note, the classroom will deform and show a rusted and old-looking area filled with small demonic babies that charge at the player. Once the player defeats them, if they were to look around the room, the windows appear to be chained up, and thick black webs are seen stretching from the floors and ceiling. In the center is a head, which must be collected in order to progress further in the game.
It's demonic.
Shodan Room, System Shock 2. The Shodan Room is a small room with a computer terminal and a corpse in the chair. As you stay in the area for a while, Shodan starts to speak to you. The wall fades away and the terminals display an entity known as Shodan. She goes on to tell how she chose you, who had been operated on with cybernetic implants that have allowed you to progress so far. She's already exposed delusions of godhood throughout, but in her mind, you're part of the evidence of her divinity. She made you. With every molecule she provides, she makes you more like her.
Every implant exalts you. Every line of code in your subsystems elevates you from your disgusting flesh.
She notes
Perhaps
perhaps.
you have potential.
And then, with the suggestion of a real alliance, she's gone.
We do not know death.
Death.
Only change.
Cannot kill.
We cannot kill each other without killing ourselves.
Containment F1. Soma. Containment F1 is a hexagonal room located in Site Omicron. It is surrounded by growing masses connected by wires. An invisible body is kept in a comatose state in a glass observation room in the midsection of the Omicron facility in full view of the laboratory. It briefly appears for a second before vanishing. If you spend too long in the area, you'll notice anomalous phenomena around the room, such as system failures and black box interference. Two bodies also go missing in the room. The headless diver on floor 1 and another at the end of a hallway on floor 2. In the room, both go missing.
Picture Room. Cry of Fear. Found in the very first chapter of the game, the Picture Room resides within the apartment block. If the player is a thorough enough explorer, they will eventually stumble upon a room with walls of photographs of murder victims, slaughtered in varying horrific ways. Upon close examination, the door is locked from the outside and the lights go out. Footsteps can be heard through the pitch black, and it's only a matter of time before your paranoia starts growing wild, waiting for something, anything, to enter through the open window. After a few seconds, the door is unlocked, and you're greeted to a loud noise with many ghosts. Headroom. Silent Hill 4. Inside the Eileen room, more commonly referred to as the Headroom, you will encounter a most disturbing sight. The giant, floating, disembodied, twitchy-eyed head of the deuteragonist, Eileen Galvin. Eileen constantly stares at the player the entire time you're present within this claustrophobic space. Ambience sets a chilling mood for anyone who enters. Why is it here? What does it want? Why does it remain after you reunite with the real Eileen? Neither of the characters bat an eye or even react to it. No explanation has been found. Examination Room. Fear, Perseus Mandate. The examination room is found in the expansion Fear, Perseus Mandate. Inside lies two tables in the center, blood pooling on them. There appears to be nothing of great importance, yet when you venture through the door at the far end, you find yourself back in the same room. Should you attempt to leave through the same door, the room appears with more blood soaking the floor and drenching the walls. A hidden scarecrow lies dormant on the floor. Should you disturb it, it will attack. When the player finally repeats the process a third time, two new tables are seen, periodically stuck to the ceiling and walls, with the doors somehow built into the floor. Upon walking through the door, you will drop down into the darkened tunnel, and the examination room will vanish.
Yep, these are just gonna get worse and worse.
Meat Locker, Year 3. The Meat Locker is located inside the abandoned Best Save Company store, in which hanging carcasses serve as your claustrophobic path to the exit. Stalking you amongst the meat is a demon which will appear at random intervals. Your character walks slowly through this section, so running is not an option. Strange writings, symbols, and drawings are dabbed on the walls and floors. Near the middle of the room, you'll notice several human bodies hanging from hooks, convincing you to get the hell out of there before you too end up as something's dinner.
Hell Room. The White Chamber. One section of the game, The White Chamber, has you traversing a hellish corridor, which features a giant eye with stringy flesh spreading on the walls around it, and a traffic light hanging from the ceiling. As you walk down the hallway to progress, the room repeats itself. The only difference is the traffic light has now changed colors, and the ambience has built to a constant murmur.
Why is there a traffic light in the middle of the map?
Every time you pass through, the music grows louder. By the time the traffic light reaches red, the music drowns out almost every other sound. The eye opens and starts its incessant twitching. Disturbingly louder moans can be heard, and the music grows more intense. Your sense of dread gullies you into sensing impending doom, that something sinister is about to happen. But once you finally reach the next room, the music slows and softens to its normal tempo. The nightmare is ended. Room of Upside Down Sinners. World of Warcraft. The Room of Upside-Down Sinners is a large underwater chamber located in the famous Karazhan Crypt. It contains long meat hooks hanging from the ceiling of the room, with corpses dangling on them. The purpose of this room is unknown. It may be a playground for developers, a testing site of sort, an unfinished instance, or something else entirely. Many players suspect that the room was never fully implemented because of the mildly disturbing content, which could have made World of Warcraft's ESRB rating become M for mature. On January 24th, 2014, Blizzard community manager Bashiuk responded to a post inquiring to the reasons the room was never used, and provided some insights on Blizzard's design processes back during the days of its creation, stating that the reason it was abandoned was more than likely that Blizzard simply changed their minds about using it. The actual room itself is inaccessible without performing the wall breach glitch.
Doll Room, Fatal Frame. The Doll Room resides in the Himero Mansion in Fatal Frame. The layout is set like a shrine, displaying various dolls arranged as though they are in mourning, with one dressed in burial clothes made to look like a rope shrine maiden. She stands in the corner, separated from the others, with sacred ropes surrounding her. It is discovered that these dolls are dedicated to the children who were sacrificed in the mansion's rituals. On the first night, there is a gaping hole in the center of the wooden floor. On the following night, the hole has been repaired, as though nothing had happened. The room's ultimate purpose is to summon the Crawling Girl, who will appear and attack the player. The Basement. Fear. Interval 3 Infiltration. As you're traveling through extremely dark underground tunnels, some unexplained phenomenon happens. Rats can be seen scurrying away from an unknown source, and the lights begin to flicker. Point Man's breathing turns heavy, and when you proceed forward, a small figure can be seen running out of sight. The importance of this room is the health booster atop a barrel. Upon finding the item, Alma appears behind you, running into an adjoining corridor. Investigating. Fruitless. The whole ordeal leaves you wondering, is she still down there? Have I missed some ammo or some secret? What other horrors lie in wait? Why can I still hear the heartbeat? You'd best leave before she reappears a third time.
Locker Room, Silent Hill. Inside Midwick's Elementary School's locker room, a strange phenomenon takes place. Upon entry, a loud rattling emanates from a locker. When you open the locker, a cat leaps out and skitters out of the room. Outside, a snarl and a squeal break the silence, and when you investigate, you are ambushed by a mumbler or gray child, but there is no sign of the cat. When you revisit the locker room in the alternate school, the exact same locker is banging on its hinges, right up until you open it, to find it completely empty and soaked with blood. Unnerved by this, you prepare to leave, but as you begin to take your first step, the locker in front of you bursts open, and a dead body wrapped in bandages collapses at your feet. Quite the scare for the uninitiated. Kid Room. Prey. Prey's Kids Room is a frightening place where it is hinted that Earth children were abducted and possessed by wraiths. If you search the room, you'll see words written in what appears to be blood. Phrases like, "They can't hear us," or "I want to go home." If you were to approach the center of the room, Shadows of departed children start attacking the player by hurling projectiles. If you are successful in fending them off, the children begin a creepy rendition of Ring Around the Rosie. It is never really explained how the children became possessed, and from this moment onwards, these enemies are never encountered again.
Storage Room, Condemned 2. The apartment complex in Condemned 2 features a room with a posed mannequin in its center. If players wander through the doorway, more of its kind instantly appear behind them. If you enter the empty bathroom then leave, you will find the mannequins blocking the doorway, blowing the light in the process, thus preventing you from entering again. This has become something of a staple, since the first game had the exact same mannequin stalking and surrounding the player around the department store. This hallucination seems to exist purely as a PTSD-style flashback to trigger the main character and the player. The school hallway. Fear 2. In Interval 5 of Wade Elementary School, the player enters a long hallway. The player's character starts breathing heavily, and the entire area is almost complete darkness, save for the occasional bright flashes of the light. Alma's voice can be heard occasionally, and she will randomly appear in front of the player. People are heard screaming. Inspectors are seen attacking from the corners of the room. The entire area is so disturbing that it gives you this feeling that you're truly alone and basically at the mercy of whatever is around you.
Alright. Well,
Shade Room.
that was fucked up.
Fear. Extraction Point. The Shade Room is an open-walled studio lined with thin metal shelves holding cans of paint. However, the floor is drenched in fresh blood, dimly lit. Exploring this already tense space proves extremely disturbing. Not only due to the music, but this room is full of unseen enemies called shades, near invisible creatures with glowing red eyes. They dash past on all fours, disorienting the player, and then slashing at their prey with razor-sharp claws. While inside this claustrophobic space, you always feel eyes watching you through the darknesses. Noises and lights within the environment constantly trick you into seeing phantoms. From the moment you set foot inside, you always feel at the mercy of these silent stalkers.
Five.
Room 311. Fatal Frame 4. Room 311 was Kageri Sando's room within Rogetsu Hall, occupied by patients of Getsuyu syndrome 10 years ago. The name on the door says Kamekizuki, which means Returning God Moon. There are various photographs on the walls, including one of Kageri herself with the wateshi, and even one of the mannequin in the center of the room. There are 6 coffins total in this room, and the mannequin inside this room will open its eyes when viewed in Finder mode. What's creepy about this room is the fact that players will wonder if the mannequin will move or come after them if they spend too long looking around. There are in fact 3 ghosts that appear in this room: Kageri herself, Watashi, and the girl in the coffin.
4.
Ghost Room. Metro last night. Whilst driving Regina through the underground tunnels, the player can stop and investigate multiple side areas. In one of these abandoned rooms, you will find empty, overturned hospital beds and some medical equipment. However, as soon as you walk through the door, distant whispers become loud, ghostly chatter. Only then do you begin to glimpse strange figures out of the corner of your eye. The longer you are exposed to the room, the more apparitions appear to haunt you. Multiple spirits lying on the floor, floating on beds, long since gone, and worse. Disturbing the ghost by walking between them will cause bottles and medicine to crash into the walls. At the far end, one can see a surgeon standing with another figure. It is this feeling of growing apprehension that makes this room so notoriously unnerving, with many players fleeing from it in sheer terror.
Alright, we're at the last 3 now.
Mannequin Room. Condemned Criminal Origins. In the 5th level of Bart's department store, you'll enter a small room, and demonic music begins to play. You'll notice at first glance several mannequins standing to the far side. When you proceed further in, a flash of bright light envelops you and the mannequins surrounding the player. The moment when the lights turn off, leaving you ending up face to face with them encircled by their bodies, is enough to make you extremely paranoid the next time you visit a department store. What's more, the mannequins seem to stalk the player, getting closer and closer each time. When the player drops down the hole and looks up, the mannequins appear in the standing place, almost as if the player imagines them attacking them, and the whole ordeal was just a hallucination.
Mirror Room, Silent Hill 3. In the 3rd floor of the alternate Brookhaven Hospital, there is a storeroom containing a portable bath and a very large mirror against the far wall. As soon as you enter, the door locks and you are trapped in what would appear to be a harmless area. However, in the mirror's reflection, the room begins to become enveloped with black tendrils. The tendrils soon find the bath and crawl inside its sink, spreading out into Heather's side of the mirror.
Oh god, this one with all the blood?
They take over the entire room, turning it a dark red. Heather is overwhelmed and her reflection ceases movement. Should you remain in the room for a prolonged period of time, the overwhelming psychological effects will eventually kill Heather. According to the developer, Heather's erestrophobia, or the fear of mirrors, manifested itself into Silent Hill's Brookhaven Hospital.
Yeah, one more.
The Hallway. Silent Hill, PT.
Oh, of course, this one.
PT centers on the player, who awakens in a house from which he cannot escape, in which he can only walk through a continuously looping hallway. In the hallway, the player finds 4 doors. 2 of them are respectively the hallway's entrance and exit. Another one is the bathrooms, and the last one seems to lead outside, though it remains closed at all times. Apart from being quite messy, the place does not seem too odd.
I saw people play this game a ton of times, so it's probably not going to scare me.
Presumably living inside the house before she died, and confronts the player several times during the visit of the hallway. Her presence seems to grow stronger as the player progresses through the various loops. After a certain amount of loops, the hallway gets even more twisted, with red-tinted lights and paintings of rotating eyes. The baby in the sink also talks with the voice of the man on the radio. Whenever the bathroom is viewed by a newly uncovered peephole, a hanging refrigerator filled with blood and a baby screaming is seen in the center of the hall. After a long period of time, the game will glitch out, and an error message page will be displayed. The player then restarts again in order to solve the final puzzle. The puzzle is optional and can be solved either on early stages of the game or in the final loop. Unfortunately, Silent Hill has officially been cancelled by Konami, but there is a game similar called Allison's Road. However, the hallway from Silent Hill BT claims the spot as the most terrifying room in video games.
Alright, well, that explains why the real Silent Hill PT hasn't come out yet. Because I've been really looking forward to seeing that game. Because I heard that was just a trailer for the game that was coming out. But that turned out to be a failure. Until just now I figured out that they weren't going to make it. And that's kind of a bummer, because I was really hyped up to see that game when it comes out, but fortunately I guess it was canceled or something. Well, yeah, that's kind of a downer. But anyway, so yeah, I'm making a new music video. I'm Afraid of My Dog, and just finished it today, and just about to get ready to edit it and upload it, and so make sure to please like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, see you guys, and bye.